he's not a bust. There's no such thing as a bust or whatever the case. That's a media created narrative, like most sports narratives that again they use to again pass the buck. Like said, players don't get to pick and choose where they get to play, live, play with, none of that, or whatever the case, unless you get to that status, like the superstars of the world, and then you get to choose different things like that. But before, when you initially get drafted, you go play where you get drafted and where you say go play. You had somebody earlier who used to, and then that's another thing too. Nobody wants to talk about the politics. Don't stop. Let's stop acting naive. Like these draft picks is just based on what we think your ceiling is and all that stuff. No, a lot of it is politics. And what did he bring up? Politics. Why was he drafted number one? Politics. He was only drafted number one because Jordan thought he was going to use him for another deal, and it didn't happen. That's why he was drafted number one, not because somebody thought he was the best thing smoking in that draft. Okay, so if we're gonna talk about bust and everything, we have to talk about everything across the board because it's not based on talent. It's not based on what we think you can do. A lot of it is based on politics. Just like the football player who on draft night, when somebody put out a video of him smoking out of a bong as if that meant something, what happened? He dropped because of politics, not because that made him less of a player, because of politics. So if we're going to talk about bust and all of this other stuff, let's talk about the politics of the game. Let's talk about how MJ was a piece of trash and how he treated that young man. Let's talk about how MJ didn't even get to own the Wizards team because of how he treated the Wizards and all of those players. But of course, the narrative is that MJ got a raw deal because they said they would give him ownership. No, he didn't get a raw deal. He talked his way out of it being MJ. So again, if we're gonna talk, let's again, as I always like to say, let's keep things in its proper perspective. Yes. Thank you.
I just want to respond with two things. A, first of all, what you got in that bag?
Chill.
Why you asking that?
Just know I keep it on me. I don't know what it is, but I keep it on me.
All right, so, Paul, what's your second point, bro? Go ahead.
The second thing is, man. Listen, I think Mag hit the nail on the head back when I was dealing with the Bush League Spectrum outage out here in front of the swimming pool, man. It's simple, dude. At the end of the day, we can sit here and call it, to Ray's point, based on what he did in his draft selection of bust. But the real bust is on the person who hired him, the guy who scouted him, the guy who got approval from the guy who scouted him, the guy who drafted him, and the guys who played with him, right? Everybody, it's a totality of accountability that's lacking.
Just to be clear here, we making excuses for him being sorry? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what's been happening.
No, he wasn't sorry. He was good for his role. He wasn't sorry. He was good for his role.
But again, Jarv, we were talking about the percentages of people who actually make it to the NBA. And again, it's very, very difficult to get to that top level, and we know that. So given the fact that he made it and he played 12 years, does that qualify?
He was good at something.
Again, to be fair, you're Lakers, and to be fair, the Lakers and the Pistons gave him contracts. So after they evaluated from the Wizards,
we traded for Kwame Brown, if I'm not mistaken, and then we got him out of there.
Right.
Immediately.
And he was valuable enough to get Pau. He was valuable enough to get Pau.
Anthony, I hear you, bro, and I know you're Elmo. You know that I know what you do here, but I need you to be serious. I need you to be serious for once on this panel. 2008, right? Right before the All-Star break. That was your energy for Kwame Brown before the Pau trade? Be honest.
Nah, I never really had any energy towards Kwame.
You were you happy with Kwame Brown as your center?
I wasn't. Yes, actually, yeah.
You're lying. It's okay.
I'm not.
You're lying.
Ask around.
You're lying.
No, ask around. Ask around. I don't make those decisions. I don't make those. Ask around. I don't make those decisions. How? When we was, I didn't love the Lakers when we was top, when we was in the lottery and in the draft pick.
You could love the Lakers then. You could love all the players.
I didn't love the Lakers then.
It wouldn't make Kwame Brown a bust because he didn't like it.
Nah, but
that doesn't automatically.
What I'm saying is that people frame their arguments based on the time that they're in.